representatives of government, the private sector, investment community, and academia, all seized with one task of unlocking Africa's green hydrogen potential. The Indaba will be remembered as a platform that supports collaboration between different stakeholders to unlock the continent's potential on all aspects and the entire value chain of green hydrogen, as well as the development of green hydrogen for just energy transition.
The DEVAC HYDROGEN-H Indaba 2024.
Let's power the future together.
Welcome to the Hydrogen-H Indaba 2024. One of the things that we emphasize on when we speak in DEVAC in particular is that we need to provide more solutions and ways of overcoming the challenges.
The main things I think that everybody heard initially is that we're ready.
It's been nothing short of phenomenal.
Technology is ready, the market's ready, the capability is ready, the renewable energy resources, they're all here. We're very ready.
That's the big question to say, how do we stand as Africa with regards to the readiness factors that we spoke about?
You were asking, is Africa ready? I think we've certainly just heard that South Africa is ready.
Africa, as a key player within the global international climate talks, is quite clear around harvesting renewables, using different types of energies, and hydrogen is central and part of that particular energy mix.
It's absolutely vital that we create the partnerships between the public sector and the private sector, between governments like the United Kingdom and governments across Africa. My focus, of course, is South Africa, but we can only do this in partnership.
So platforms like these that are organized by DEVAC are quite important in sharing ideas, knowledge, but also in unpacking projects that are available for potential partnership and investors.
I think there isn't enough of this in the African context.
Definitely.
I think Richard and co are at the forefront of creating awareness. I think bringing captains of industry together. We're having important conversations, which is so, I think, critical to developing the local hydrogen industry.
And a responsibility for each and every one of us to make sure that the industry we come from are able to contribute towards the greener growth.
We then work together as Africans to harness our resources, not only resources in terms of raw materials, but also in terms of expertise.
Yes, we do have the technologies. We actually do have the technologies locally. Just look around. Just go and find out. We have them.
And not to miss to mention also about the jobs. We have estimated 5,000 jobs, direct, indirect, 11,000 when you look at induced jobs.
Commitments to local communities and certain radiuses around renewable energy projects.
Look, DEVAC has been a fantastic conversation from a policy making to practitioners to academics to energy analysts and everyone who plays in that space. We coming from the transport sector, which is one of the bigger contributors to the greenhouse gas emission. About 10% of our greenhouse gas emission as a country comes from transport. And therefore conversations of this nature help to make us aware of the fact that with the president having signed a climate change bill into an act.
How do we harmonize and come up with policies that will be meaningful for everyone in the region?
Getting as close as possible to understanding project developers' issues, pain points, what keeps them up at night, at the same time simultaneously getting as close as possible to the money and bridging that gap.
I'm a patriot and a passionate one, just like many of you. And I'm sure together we can make a difference in our economy by working together.
In recent years, Morocco has established itself as a regional and continental pioneer in the field of renewable energy.
We know that we are great in planning, but poor in execution. These are the projects that we'll focus on, that will take us forward. And perhaps on the back of that, that's how we grow the economy.
So success will look like getting that question answered. If 90% of hydrogen projects in the world are yet to have a contracted buyer, it tells us that this is the question that we need to solve first.
DEVAC has grown from strength to strength, and the quality of the speakers that they are bringing and the entities within the hydrogen economy.
I think DEVAC Hydrogen is a very great event. It brings together a lot of leading people from industry, also from many other countries across the continent. So I think if we're just talking about collaboration and really accelerating what we have in terms of green hydrogen, this is a great platform for anyone to come in, network, meet people, and also have a voice and a face in this.
Green hydrogen is one of the areas that we are busy researching, both for our own internal use and then also as a Ports Authority, looking at how we can come in and what role we need to play to facilitate the hydrogen export market.
The PV and the wind, the renewable energies, because there's lots of room in South Africa still for renewable electricity to be online, and maybe batteries as well. But I cannot see somebody taking power from a battery and then put it into electrolyzer, destroying 40% of the value of the electricity to make hydrogen, then to destroy another 20% to compress and store it.
I'm very excited about what Transnet wants to do. What exactly should I zoom into in order to have the skills that I need for the future?
Indabas like DEVAC give us a platform to have the conversations that we need to have to dial the needle and to move things forward. And without a DEVAC, I don't think we'll be having those conversations. You know, it forces us to come together, even if it's just once a year, to think about what we're doing, strategize on a way forward.
Actually, I learned this, and this is the right way you should do. And then you're like, let's connect, let's network, let's actually take this conversation further, meet a lot of other developers, stakeholders, financiers, people that can actually help you in your journey when it comes to the hydrogen. And that foster collaboration and enable us to actually grow further and learn, bouncing off ideas from each other.
We are willing and ready to partner with any partners that are willing to support the development of skills in emerging technologies in support of local manufacturing.
Collaborate, and I believe that most of us seated in this room form those bits and pieces of the puzzle that needs to come together.
Ensure safety and compliance along the H2 value chain. We need to operate between industry segments, and to juggle many topics at the same time.
As you're seeing projects under development, you're seeing what the government is planning at different levels, whether it's national or provincial. So in that way, you can actually position yourself as a professional services provider to ensure that you are more proactive to what the industry will ultimately need from you. And that's what's great about this conference. It's very diverse in terms of the parties that are attending it.
But many others. I'm working with amazing group of people, amazing engineers of all sorts, of all colors, of all shades, to be able to own this space in hydrogen.
Fostering that by only bringing in people from outside, companies from outside. Yes, we need expertise, but we must not forget to foster our own know-how here.
I think that those partnerships, engaging with those industries, will ensure that we produce the right skills at the right time for the right purpose.
I think 3 years ago, I had no idea there was actually a hydrogen market, but now I am aware of the strides that are taking place and aware that it has been a market that is actually very well established, finding opportunities and spaces that they can take part in.
Obviously, some of those skill sets do exist, but we do need to obviously focus on really developing the future youth as well.
Okay, so you would see that the hydrogen economy is massive, but the understanding about it looks like it's energy related, it's water related. So one of the roles of myself as an individual from the SITA is also to bring the other SITAs on board and make them understand that this value chain is so massive, this ecosystem is so massive that everyone has a role to play.
This thing about developing the skills cannot just be limited to looking at government and industry.
So there is a lot of knowledge and expertise within the South African context. So certainly Indaba such as this one they help share the discussion, share the knowledge, and provide a platform for stakeholders from different spaces within society to come together.
Fossil fuel energy is extremely reliable, it's readily available. How do we get hydrogen or any other renewable source of energies available to us going forward.
Extensive research as far as the hydrogen economy is concerned and how it can impact the nation of South Africa.
So this is much needed today to support the economy. As much as this is a solution, finally we have a solution to take over from the coal power station that would reach end of life progressively. So fortunately we have a solution, hydrogen being the key allowing for that.
What skills are we going to need within the value chain, and who's going to be participating where within the value chain? So I think with this conference, it's a huge opportunity to bring all the role players together. DEVAC is basically the place to be, and it's really setting the stage.
Small businesses, startups, etc., that are playing in the space of electrolyzers and fuel cells. I think it's not really about the research or figuring out what is the best way to do something. I think all that knowledge is there, it's just we're not playing in the space.
African perspective, I think South Africa has sort of done a lot of work in terms of fuel cell research.
The green fuels for the green molecules, and they can probably in their area only produce 25 to 30% of it. So it's a lot of import that has to come from other areas into Europe.
Are we thinking too far ahead? Are we missing the risks that are right in front of us? And this is the big thing, the question that I'm sitting with. I'm looking at the green hydrogen commercialization strategy, and it already identifies the lack of sufficient grid capacity as a risk. So please don't go to an attorney for an opinion on that. That was free.
And when you have like what DEVAC is put together in terms of the hydrogen economy, it focuses the minds around some of the issues. You'll be surprised that although people come acting like they know, you'll be surprised how much people learn.
Such an awesome platform to be at.
Stay tuned because it's going to be back next year at the DEVAC HYDROGEN-H Indaba.
If you're not at the DEVAC H Hydrogen Indaba next year, you're going to miss out on such an amazing opportunity.
Can't wait to see you.
See you at the next
DEVAC HYDROGEN-H
Indaba 2025.
Don't miss out.
At the next DEVAC HYDROGEN Indaba.
If you missed out,
you can catch us.
DEVAC HYDROGEN-H Indaba 2025. But don't worry, we'll see you again next year.
On the 17th and 18th of September. See you.
The DEVAC HYDROGEN-H Indaba 2024. Let's power the future together.
I hope that's concise enough.